What is up, you guys? How you doing? Today, we are going to be taking a look at one of my most anticipated films of the year, the long-awaited John Wick Chapter 4.
42 regular, wasn't it?
Yeah. And so it begins.
This film sees the titular character, once again played by Keanu Reeves, seeking revenge against the High Table after the events of the last film, and he has to face a new foe, played by Bill Skarsgård, and some other obstacles in order to hopefully reclaim his freedom and bring down the High Table once and for all. I love all three of the previous movies. Keanu Reeves is a badass in all of them and doing most of his own stunts. The action is incredibly well done. And I also love the visual style and world building of these movies. So I was beyond pumped for this installment and had incredibly high expectations for it. How was it? Well, I am incredibly happy to report that this movie is fucking awesome. It's the best movie of the year so far, and the best movie in the series, at least in my opinion. Chad Stahelski and the rest of the crew and cast absolutely outdid themselves here, and I adored every single second of this movie. This movie is 2 hours and 49 minutes, almost 3 hours, and easily the longest one in the series. Recently, I've seen people debate over the lengths and runtimes of movies, and arguing over whether movies need to be shorter or movies need to be longer. My stance on that is and always has been that a movie's pacing is more important than its runtime, and that a movie is as long as it should be. If the story plays out over 3 hours and feels right, like the Lord of the Rings movies, then great. If it plays out only 90 minutes, also great. If you're gonna make a movie that's 2.5 to 3 hours long, fill it up with things that matter. Give me character development. Give me, scenes that are cool and interesting. There can't be any unnecessary fat or filler in there. Nothing should be irrelevant. Nothing should be trivial. In my opinion, this movie earns its runtime. It honestly doesn't even feel that long at all, and I was never bored or disinterested in anything that was happening. The pacing is relentless, and the movie just flies by. The actors all do a great job. Keanu Reeves is once again great as this character. I know a lot of people make fun of Keanu and make fun of his acting style and talk about how he's always like, yeah, and whoa. But the guy is just so likable and so memorable and so badass that you buy into it. He makes it work. He owns it. Keanu's acting style it's almost kind of like Nick Cage's. Like, even if they're off kilter at times, you never get the sense that they're half-assing it. And they've both also delivered performances that are genuinely fantastic. Hiroyuki Sanada, I apologize if I butchered that name, is in this film and is awesome as always. I always get excited whenever he shows up in something because I think he's such a badass and such an engaging actor. I especially loved him as Kenji in Rush Hour 3. And by the way, that movie has my favorite blooper of all time.
I'm sick of you, Kenji. You've been trying to kill us ever since the start of this damn movie.
Ian McShane and Lance Reddick are once again great, and I'm so sad that Lance passed away recently. Shortly before this movie came out, because that dude elevated every project he was in, and always gave 110% to every role. So rest in peace. So rest in peace, Lance Reddick. You were great in this movie. You were a great actor and just a great talent, and you will be dearly missed. Scott Adkins is extremely memorable and fun to watch in his small role, and I really enjoyed the character of the Tracker, played by Shamir Anderson. And I thought that his character had a really interesting story and a really interesting arc. But the main standouts in this film are Bill Skarsgård and Donnie Yen. Skarsgård as the villain has this great sense of swagger and this great, commanding, creepy presence that make him a great foe. Dude's got killer fashion sense too. Whoever the costume designer for this franchise and this movie is did a great job with everybody's outfits. Donnie Yen plays a blind assassin. Not the first time he played a role like that. Named Kane. And he was awesome in this movie. I was so excited when he was cast in this movie because he's a great actor and an incredible martial artist. And here he proves his skills in spades in both acting and fight choreography. His character is supremely skilled and extremely badass, but is also super funny and charismatic as well. The cinematography, production design, and costume design are exquisite and really make this world feel lived in. I've always loved the kind of noir neon aesthetic of these movies, and this is easily the best looking movie in the series. Keanu Reeves traveling the world and killing hundreds of people has never looked so good. I hit the mic there. And speaking of killing people, let's talk about what you're probably anxiously waiting for me to talk about, the action.
Oh
Holy fucking shit.
Like, I'm just gonna come out and say it. This is one of the best, if not the best, action movie I have ever seen. This film is a masterclass in stunt work, choreography, editing, and camera work. Like, all throughout this film, I was like, this is how you do action. Like, there's no shaky cam, there's no, there's no quick cut, fast, rapid fire editing bullshit like in Taken 3. Seriously, a scene of a guy hopping a fence does not need like 14 different camera angles. This movie has, wide shots, you can see what the actors are doing, you can see them doing these great stunts, you can make out what's going on. The editing, like the editing, the cuts are kept at a minimum. It's beautifully presented. It's beautifully presented. Everything that makes an action scene good is in this movie. There are so many awesome and memorable sequences in here. But just for a couple of examples, I'm a sucker for a good one-take action scene, like the hallway fight in Daredevil Season 1, for instance. And there's a scene in here where John Wick is in this building just mowing through bad guys with his guns, and it's like a bird's eye view of the build. It's like a bird's eye view of the building, and you can like see through the ceiling. You can see like the architecture of the rooms, of the rooms, and it's all done in one take. It's all done in one take. The camera just follows John Wick around as he's going through this building, and it's one of the coolest things I've ever seen. There's also an action set piece in Paris near the Eiffel Tower, and bad guys are just approaching John from all different directions. There's cars rushing by all around them. The sequence is over 30 minutes long, and it is amazing throughout. Like, I am shocked that the Oscars still don't have a category for stunt work and stunt choreography, because the stunts in this movie are absolutely mind-blowing. There are a lot of great falls in this movie in particular, especially involving stairs. There's a lot of stair work in this movie. Stunt performers deserve way more credit and recognition than they get. Like, these people put their lives at risk for our entertainment. Like, give them their props already. And what's even cooler is that Keanu did like 90% of his own stunts in the movie, and that shows just how committed he is to his craft. He's like Tom Cruise, except without the weirdo Scientology stuff. As far as flaws and nitpicks go, yeah, I genuinely can't think of anything. Yeah, this movie's that good. Overall, this movie is not just a movie. It's an experience. Just phenomenal action, compelling story. The movie looks and sounds amazing. The actors all do a great job. I absolutely adored this film. Like, Chad Stahelski has really come into his own as a filmmaker and fight choreographer, and I will be there for whatever he does next, and I cannot wait to see where they take this franchise next. As for my rating,
Yeah, I'm thinking.
alrighty, that was my spoiler-free review of John Wick Chapter 4. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on this movie and this review, and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to see more. Share it to get us some traction, do all that good stuff, and I'll see you next time.